For Asgard, one of my favorite superheroes is Thor. And I'm so intrigued by the Norse mythology. And I'm aware that they're gods too. And these are gods that, I respect. Um, I know they're not real, they're mythology. But I really respect, and I will, from time to time, showcase, Thor or some type of Norse mythology. Um, but I really wish gods are real. Imagine if gods were really real. Maybe they are, but imagine if uh, the gods that were real actually protected the good people, actually interacted with the good people, helped the good people. You know, I think there'd be disadvantages and advantages. The advantage of that is, we'd all know that there's a God. We'd all, be safe, be protected, would have, we would know who's in charge. The disadvantage of that is we wouldn't be able to learn. We wouldn't be able to evolve. We wouldn't be able to get, be given chances to change and to grow. If there was a God that just always intervened, there'd be really no growth. But we all have our, our exceptions about God or thoughts about God. If that's what I call them, either the God is intervening to help, or sometimes, who knows? With God, when it comes to God, it all depends on the individual and what they're thinking. Because I'm thinking one way, well, those watching this is going to be thinking an entirely different way of God or gods. But the disadvantage of having God that's around, that's actually real and doing stuff, is that, again, we would not be able to grow and learn. God would always be there intervening with our problems and things like that. And, it would be hard to develop, hard to have, that to feel, I guess, sad or mad type emotions. And we need that balance of happy and sad and angry and cheerful. If God always intervened, um, there'd be no point of anything. We would just be feeling so good. We'd all sit back and just have this God help us all the time. But the advantage is, we'd all be safe. We'd all know. We wouldn't be fighting. There'd probably, hopefully, be like no religions at all. We'd all know who or what this God or gods are, and the story wouldn't have to believe in the God. Wouldn't have faith in the God. Wouldn't have to, maybe not have to through all these rituals. We would know where and who this God is. This God would provide everything, shelter, food for every human in this world. But then, you know, part of living is surviving. And if you're not surviving, if you haven't suffered, you're not really living, in my opinion. Because life is about suffering and surviving. Falling, making mistakes, growing and learning. Sure, having a God around and preventing deaths and accidents, it would. There's some advantages to that, but it would be a disadvantage. We wouldn't be able to feel anything. It's like every time we're about to feel bad, something stops us from feeling bad. I think it would get annoying after a while. It's like, let me fall. Let me just live. So, with God's being there or not there, It can go either way. Um, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but would I really want a God to intervene? I think um, I think it really depends on how we're viewing this God, or the God that we want. We could have a God that intervenes, but intervenes maybe once a month, once in a while. Maybe you have to climb a mountain to view this God. Once in a while, he'll be around. It all depends on what we think and perceive of this God, what we want him to be. And that's why religion in today's world, in this reality, when it comes to God and religion, it's so hard because everyone has their thought process, their perspective of things. I mean, you go to church of 100 members, it's probably you're gonna have over 50 different thoughts of what this God really is. You ask the question, would you rather have God, intervene and always be there physically? You're still gonna have a lot of different perspectives about it. Many people thinking, hey, God's just gonna be around, chilling, walking, running around with us. But does it have to be that way though? Couldn't he just be here sometimes? Once a month, once a year, once every other year, physical form, in a spiritual form, in a ghost-like form, holographic form. Who knows? So that's why religion is it's all imaginary. It's based on like whatever the founder wants, whatever the founder of that religion or cult wants. That's what the God is going to be like. But even then, your followers are going to have a entirely different perspective of God. They may follow you and say, hey, this God is real, or gods are real, but their perspective of him is going to be somewhat a little different, though. Their perspective of God is probably going to be, hey, you viewing this God as maybe 200 pounds. You're viewing this God as 7 foot, 5 foot, as a midget, size of an ant. So what I'm trying to say is, we all think and have various perspectives of things, especially with God. And it's hard to say a God is real when everyone's perspective of God is different. It's I don't know if I'm making any sense here, people. But this is just the way I do things, kind of rambling to myself, kind of talking, thinking, critically thinking as I go. But again, the question is, or the whole topic is basically, what if God was actually real? Was actually here interacting with the people? There are disadvantages and advantages to that. At the same time, everyone's going to have their different perspectives of what they would want God to do, or what God would be doing if he or she or it interacted with the people. Some people are not even going to think about the advantages and disadvantages of God, of God or gods interacting with the people. Some people's going to think it's perfect. And imagine heaven, though. Just heaven. You all get to heaven, all you're doing is worshiping God. You don't think there's going to be some kind of problems or conflicts? Going to be fights? You're going to feel sad or mad? You're just going to be happy for eternity? I don't know, man. Something to think about, though. Just going to worship God all for the rest of eternity. Are you going to do other things, though? Is God just going to make you worship him or hit or whatever? Do you get to party? Do you get to go to amusement parks? Is it going to be like church? See, this whole concept of heaven doesn't make any sense because people don't question heaven. They just think clouds and Jesus and God and everyone's going to be happy. Everyone's going to be there. Oh, this person died. They're all going to heaven. We're all going to see each other. When in reality, we're probably never going to see each other ever again. Probably not. I have my perspective of the afterlife. I'm not sure if it's real or not. I don't know. But again, it's my perspective, and my perspective is I think, everyone who has died, past and present, in year one till now, and in the future, I think we're all going to probably be in the same place. I think the way we're living now on this earth, in this realm, is probably going to continue in the afterlife. I think we're going to see a lot of scary creatures, scary insects and bugs, things that we've probably killed. We're going to see them. And they're going to look really ugly and really nasty. That's just my perspective of things. I don't know if it's real or not. There's only one way to find out. So yeah, heaven doesn't really make sense. And it seems kind of boring because all you're going to be doing is worshiping this God 24/7. Do you get to do anything else in heaven? What if you make a mistake? Do you get sent to hell? They put in time out? Is there like a jail? Heaven jail? Heaven is, I don't know. Religion, gods, doesn't make sense. And I wish it all could just be proven. I wish someone can just prove it. Just show me all what's gonna happen. Now, not just read a verse in a book. Actually show me what's gonna happen. If you can't do that, then everything is just based on perspective. Perspective, faith, hope, thought, delusional, illusional. But anyways, for Asgard.